name is Jason, and I'm currently in the process of building an online nutrition fitness coaching. It's just not successful yet. So why would you listen to me, right? Why would you listen to the things I have to say? Well, it's because I'm documenting the journey and I'm documenting everything I learned. I try to drop at least one golden nugget in every video. If you can get, watch a podcast, or listen to a podcast, watch a video, watch a course, watch anything, you can get one golden nugget that you can implement into your business that could potentially change the trajectory of what your business is doing. It might be beneficial. All right, so the one thing I want to talk about is your website. You hear people, saying that they don't have to have a website. You don't have to have it. You can just use social media. They're probably right. Oh, also I want to mention Trainerize with Evolution Nutrition. That dynamic duo right there. Pretty awesome. Trainerize, I believe, is like $70 a month, and you can have like up to 15 clients. So one client could potentially pay for the whole service, plus online nutrition evolution. They're integrated. Oh, they could be. You pay $45 a month, and you can have it integrated, but you can send your clients, over 4,500 different meals, and you can set it to their calories, their diets. You can, and if they have food allergies, restrict it, and then boom, you just send it to them. It's really easy stuff. Just throw that out there. So Trainerize Evolution Nutrition, they integrate, through the software of Trainerize. You just connect it. It's like $70. They have different plans for the Trainerize, and then Evolution is like $45 a month. It might at the time of recording, it might be $52. I don't know. But yeah, so those two things together, something that you never really, figure out, like how do I create online fitness programs, and with Trainerize, they actually have an exercise library, so they have video demonstrations, you got the bench press, you got the squats, you got the, bicycle crunches and stuff. On the app, it has the video demonstrations, so just keep that in mind. It's very easy. It makes it very easy, and you can create out these these exercise plans, and on the exercise plans themselves, you can save them. So, like, for example, if you have someone who's 160 pounds and their target weight is 140, right? And you have the program and it works. It works for them. They're like, wow, this is awesome. Thank you for your service. 3 months. They're like, well, at this time, I kind of don't need you anymore, just because I reached my goal. And you're going to be like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. They might even stay with you because, you've got them so far. They want to see what else you got. Like maybe they change their goals. Like, all right, well, I got skinny, I look good, but now I'm trying to get jacked, homie. I'm trying to get jacked. Like, be cool. Whatever. Not the point. Point is that the Trainerize, the client. Oh, so if you have 160, they lose 20 pounds off that one program. You can actually save that exact program and send it to somebody else in the same exact predicament. They're 160 or roughly 160. You can say, here, do this. And then basically it gets a lot easier because they're already saved. So the more clients you have, obviously everybody is different. Not every plan, or not one plan is gonna work for everybody. However, there is a majority, all right? You might have your people with physical limitations such as injuries, so they're not able to, work out the shoulder or something because they're very limited, has some discomfort or whatever. But for the people that are not special, then you basically have it to where you could, just copy and paste. And the more trainers or the more clients you have, the faster, obviously, you get to set up. But the faster you get, like you can set it up. So like if you're charging $200 a month and you've already had, let's say, 200 clients, you already have the framework, you know, say, hey, do this, but it's already saved. So you just be like, all right, introduction level, you search like the workout program specific, you know, introduction beginner 1, you know, and then you put that onto the new client right away, dude. And then all of a sudden they start, and then you just create a nutrition plan, which is basically you put in their calories, you know, probably their TDEE, you know, based off their height, and you know, you say, all right, well, if they're trying to bulk, you know, you need this much. If they're trying to cut, you need this much. And so you put it in their little calculator, and it tells you their TDE, and then you create a meal plan off of that. And then they have a smart meal plan, which is basically you put in their food allergies, you put in the preferences such as, you know, keto, vegan, pescatarian, carnivore, whatever, and it automatically generates it. You know, you can I know on Trainerize you can I don't want my people to starve, so I like to do 3 meals. You know, I know there's people who like intermittent fasting. I haven't really found too many people that. I honestly like intermittent fasting myself personally, just because there are a lot of benefits to it, you know. And intermittent fasting is basically, it's not starving yourself, it's basically getting all the calories you need in one meal, or not even necessarily one meal, but in a little time span, you know, 4 hours, 5 hours, and then you basically go throughout the day. But that's just me preferencing, and I want to do that to my people, but there's a lot of benefits to it. But yeah, not the point. So then you can set it up 3 meals. You know, each meal has how many different calories based off of their overall total calorie consumption for the day. So very easy. I am not sponsored by them at all. It'd be cool, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to help personal trainers ease out their mind. But there's also, you know, there's no system fits all, you know. But I think it's definitely something to think about, the exercise videos and the nutrition plans, and it's pretty cool to have like easy to follow recipes, but that's without the Evolution Nutrition. If you want to add the Evolution Nutrition, you know, it's like, I think Evolution Nutrition is, Trainerize is more, you know, your basic. They got some weird stuff, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like on their food section, they have this thing called a pear sandwich. A pear sandwich! I don't know what it is, but I mean, I know what it is. It's a pear sandwich, but I've never had it, nor will I ever want my clients to, you know, like, they open up their meal plan, they look at their weekly, you know, their grocery list. Oh, it comes up with the automated grocery list. Oh, and also on top of that, they can also update and change. Oh, shoot. Let me just go a little bit about Trainerize. This is for personal trainers or personal trainers who or want to be personal trainers. So, Trainerize also has, I spaced. I'm a space cadet sometimes. I totally forgot what the heck I was gonna say. But yeah, they have a pear sandwich. So, oh yeah, they track your macronutrients. So you're able to, you know, put it into the system. They're able to calculate their food, their macros, by simply, so like it's like on MyFitnessPal, you know. But they do it on the app Trainerize, and so there's that. Plus, you know, they have the two-way messaging. I guess this video is about Trainerize, but they just got weird stuff. They got weird nutrition, you know. So there are a few things. Oh yeah, and another thing too is that your clients have the opportunity to change out the meals that they don't want. So it's not like you give them the meal plan and they're gonna be like, hey, you know, I'm messaging, or they'll call you or something and be like, yo, dude, on Thursday it says that I'm supposed to be eating spaghetti, and they're gonna be like, yeah, what's wrong with spaghetti? Spaghetti's good, you know. And they're gonna be like, I hate spaghetti, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm not on the computer. Oh, they also have the app. You can, you know, fix some stuff up, but it's probably easier to do it on the laptop or the, you know, the iMac or the MacBook or whatever, the computer. And instead of having to go to the computer, you know, and changing it for them, they can do it. They can honestly create the meal plan for themselves. I'm not even lying to you. So if you got those picky people, be like, dude, just go through the list, all right? I don't want you to stop, or I want you to stop going out and eating because you feel the need to go get good, delicious food. When all reality, I might not be knowing what your taste buds like. So what you can do is go and create the plan for yourself. That way we can maximize your probability of you succeeding. Stop going out and eating Chick-fil-A, even though Chick-fil-A is super good. So, you know, stuff like that. Trainerize is pretty good. So what are my dislikes about Trainerize? Well, I think my only thing is the nutrition part, and it's just because they have weird nutrition part, and I don't like how they only have 3 meals, and if you know their limit is 1,400 calories, I would rather have the option to have 1,200 calories or even 1,000 calories for your daily calorie consumption, so that way people can include, you know, protein smoothies, you know, that have, you know, a high calorie protein smoothie. So like, you know, their meals basically, in a sense, you can make them like a meal, but they can have protein smoothies and it won't increase their, or they won't go over their calorie intake for the day. So, you know, if I know someone who, like, after the workouts, you know, gets tired or something like that, and they don't like to drink more coffee, I tell them, you know, drink a little fruit protein smoothies where, you know, sugars and all that boost their glucose, and, you know, they get a little sugar rush and all that stuff. But that's besides the point. I think, you know, that's that. But the exercise library is pretty cool. They also have like a YouTube type of integration where if they don't have the exercise you're looking for, like there was a client that I had, I call him a free pull, because as soon as I asked him for money, you know, he was like, can't afford it. It was also $300 a month, so I should have, you know, started him off with collecting the payment. And then that's my new thing, that's my new offer is I'm going to tell them you get, so basically you pay for your first month of coaching. That way you can get some skin in the game. There's actually something worth committing for, you know, something free. You don't really care, you know, it's like, it's free. He's like, whatever. But if you're actually putting your hard-earned money into something, you're gonna care just a little bit more, to where it's like, all right, I invested in this. You know, you paid $10,000 to go to a sales seminar. You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna focus. You are not gonna be on your phone during that seminar. You are not gonna be freaking going to the bathroom for a $10,000 seminar, or while it's going, you're not doing it, because why? You spent a lot of time working that money. Unless you're a big baller and you just don't even, you know, you get paid $1,000 an hour or something, you know, that might be, you know, you might be going to the bathroom during a $10,000 seminar. You might be, but, you know, a lot of other people probably not. So, so they're free, but I'm not doing that anymore. But I am offering free, you know, in a way. So when I do my EDDM, because I don't have testimonials or social proof, I'm offering a no money back guarantee, which is basically, it's $200 a month, but I also do have the accountability. So the accountability is $500 a month. You know, it's kind of one of those price anchors where it's like, it's so out there. I mean, shoot, I heard this girl, she's talking about, you know, she's like, yeah, I freaking coach women over 50 and I charge $1,000 a month, and I make $750,000 a year with no ad spend, all organic. I'm like, what? $1,000 a month for a freaking client to do the same thing that I'm doing, except they're over 50, and I don't really target people over 50, but if I was, I could be charging $1,000 a month. Are you kidding me? And people will be buying it, and you're making $750,000 a year? Dude, when I heard that, I'm like, all right, 500 ain't that bad. 300 ain't that bad. But once I get social proof, you know, there's a thing with it, it's 55%. You want to have a conversion rate of 55%. You say, why a conversion rate of 55%? Wouldn't you want 100%? No, you don't. If you have a 100% conversion rate, that means your price is too low for the value that you are giving. So what that means is you need to increase your price double. You know, Alex Hormozy, they talk about the gas. They're like, whoa, did you just say $500 a month? Yes, I did. But I'm telling you, for the people who pay $500 a month, they are the people to succeed. Why? Because they put in the work. They'll actually put in the work, because they actually, you know, are are sacrificing some stuff, their time, their money to get this done. So yeah, but some of those is like, you want the price so high that they have to gasp. And he was doing a presentation, right? I wasn't there, I was watching it online, but he's like freaking, like there's like a whole bunch of like salespeople. I'm gonna butch this bad, but there was like there's a whole bunch of salespeople, and the freaking, they're all talking, and then they're like, did you get the sale? And it'll be like, yeah, but you should have heard that gasp. I just laughed at it, because I can only imagine they're like $10,000, and the person was like, holy 10,000? Yeah, but you gotta go for the gas, But anyway, that's the point. You can double your price, and if they say no, that means you're a little too high, or you're either a little too high, but you might not be. It's the value that you're providing is not perceived as that valuable in a sense of money. So, oh shoot, there's Kyle. So what am I saying? I'm saying that if you are going to charge more, don't be afraid. All you got to do is make sure you're providing enough value to where the price seems inexpensive. So there's that. And you want to shoot for like a 55%. All right, 55%. When I say 55%, I mean like almost half your people say no, but not all of them. And so you say, what's the advantage of that? Well, what you're asking me, as for an online personal trainer, do you want to be on the phone all day potentially with clients, answering questions, concerns? So think of this. You have 200 clients paying $100. Okay, you have 200 clients versus you have 100 clients paying $200. The price is the same. However, you're dealing with a lot less people. So that's less time that you have to worry about answering, responding. But it's not even that. It's especially with accountability coaching or nutrition and fitness coaching, a lot of it is accountability. It is your job as a personal trainer to make sure they get the results that they want, you know what I mean, at the desired time frame. If somebody wants to lose 50 pounds, they're like, yeah, we can do that. And they're probably going to want to lose it in about a year, which is definitely doable. 50 pounds in 1 year, very doable. Especially if their BMI is way off the chart, then it's very, 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 very doable. But the thing is like, they're obviously wanted, in a timely manner. No one really wants to pay, $1 million because they're on your course for 10 years to lose 50 pounds. If you can get it done in a quicker amount of time, that's where it's at. And it's your job to honestly hold them accountable, and because it's your job, as a personal trainer, that it is your job. Your job is not to make money. So there's a thing is, I forgot what the quote is exactly, but it's like, you come up with a number that you really want to make, like the amount of money you want to make, and you basically have to sell the service to which, I'm butchering it. Dude, lately, my brain has just been, but anyways, what I was going to say, 55% conversion rate. If you have a little bit lower, then maybe reduce your price or just increase the value of that. That's the biggest thing, is don't ever decrease your value, decrease your price, just increase the value. That is it. Don't ever decrease your value. I did that. I was at 300, but then I decreased my value to 200 because I felt like I just need clients, and the more clients I have right now, the better, because I have no testimonials, I have no social proof, none of that action. So if I do have people say yes, I'm going to increase my price. And so it's better to have less clients, but that pay more, than more clients that, unless your ultimate goal quite frankly, is to help as many people in the world as possible without worrying about finance. But even then, dude, there's always bigger fish to fry. And what I mean by that is basically, if you can find 100 people, you know, that willing to pay 200, you can find 200 people that are willing to pay 200 people or $200, you know. In a world where you're selling an online personal training and fitness coaching, you're selling to the world. Basically, anybody who speaks English or whatever language. You are probably listening to English. If you're not listening to this to English, or I don't know how you're listening it, or I don't know how you understand. But anyways, if you're advertising to other places, you know, I had clients, they're free people again, South Africa, Kenya, you know, pretty cool. I wish they were clients, because then I could say I'm a worldwide personal trainer. Pretty dope. Global, pretty sick, dude. Oh, it'd be so sick. But you're not just selling to the country that you're in, you know. Like for me, I'm in America right now, so I basically advertise in America just because there's a lot of time differences everywhere else. So if I'm, you know, messaging people from South Africa, they're like 9 hours away from me, and so then it'll be like 4 o'clock in the morning there, but it'd be 8 o'clock when I get off of work. So we'd be like, all right, I'm gonna wake you up at 4 in the morning and we're gonna have this onboarding phone. Nah, you know what I mean? So I kind of just talk in America. But anyways, yeah, so what was I gonna say? That's it. Like,